Have you ever wondered why your bones feel weaker even though you haven't changed your lifestyle much? Many women after menopause are shocked to learn that it's not only age that puts their bones at risk. The truth is, some of the foods you eat every single day, foods you may even believe are healthy, could be quietly stealing calcium, draining minerals, and weakening your bones. I know that sounds unsettling, but I want you to stay with me. Because once you know what these foods are, you can make small changes that protect your bones, keep you strong, and help prevent osteoporosis. And the good news: the solutions are not complicated. Hello, my dear friends. I'm Dr. Lisa Perriera, a gynecologist with over 30 years of experience guiding women through menopause and beyond. On this channel, we uncover practical science-based strategies to help women over 60 stay confident, healthy, and independent. And today, we're going to talk about the 5 everyday foods that may be silently weakening your bones. These aren't exotic foods. They're the kinds of things you might have in your fridge or pantry right now. And by the end of this video, you'll not only know what they are, but also the safer, healthier alternatives that support bone strength. Before we dive in, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that your back aches more after sitting for a while, or that you're not quite as tall as you used to be? These are often early signs of bone loss. According to the Mayo Clinic after menopause, women can lose up to 20% of their bone density in just the first 5 to 7 years. That's a staggering amount, and it makes every choice you make with food and lifestyle matter even more. But here's the encouraging truth. Bone loss is not inevitable. You have more control than you think. The foods you choose each day can either strengthen your bones or slowly chip away at them. Now, I don't want you to panic or feel guilty. None of us are perfect, and I know many of these foods have been part of your routine for decades. But knowledge is power. And by making a few simple swaps, you can continue to enjoy meals you love while protecting your bones. So what are these hidden culprits? One of them might be in your morning cup. Another could be something you sprinkle on your dinner without even thinking. And one of the most surprising is often marketed as healthy, but for postmenopausal women, it may do more harm than good. Stay with me, because in just a moment, we're going to reveal the first food on the list, the one that many women consume daily without realizing the toll it takes on their bones. But first, I'd love for you to engage with me. Type yes in the comments if you want to see all 5 foods and their healthier alternatives. Or type no if you'd prefer me to start by revealing just the single most damaging one. Your participation makes this community stronger, and your voice truly matters here. Now let's begin uncovering the everyday foods that silently weaken your bones after menopause, starting with one that might surprise you. Let's begin with the first everyday food that silently weakens your bones: soda and sugary soft drinks. For many women, a cold soda feels like a little treat, especially in the afternoon. But here's the hidden danger: sodas are loaded with phosphoric acid and sugar. According to the Cleveland Clinic, too much phosphorus can actually pull calcium from your bones, making them weaker over time. And sugar adds fuel to the fire. It causes inflammation, which further disrupts bone strength. I once treated a woman named Helen, age 65, who had fractured her wrist from a minor fall. She told me I only drink 1 can of cola a day. That can't hurt, right? But after reviewing her diet, we saw that single can was giving her more phosphorus than her bones could handle. When she switched soda for sparkling water with lemon, her energy improved and her bone density test showed stabilization within a year. A small change, but a powerful result. The second hidden culprit is too much salt. Many of us sprinkle it without even thinking on eggs, on soups, on vegetables. But high sodium intake makes your body excrete more calcium through urine. Imagine pouring water into a bucket with a hole at the bottom. That's what salt does to your calcium levels. The more salt you eat, the more calcium leaks out. The NIH warns that women after menopause already at risk of bone loss are especially sensitive to this effect. I recall Barbara, a 70-year-old patient, who loved salty snacks, pretzels, crackers, chips. She thought she was getting enough calcium from her daily yogurt. But when we reduced her sodium intake, her bone pain decreased, and she felt less bloated too. It wasn't about cutting flavor. She learned to season with herbs and spices instead, which protected her bones and kept her meals satisfying. Now let's talk about the third everyday food excess: caffeine. I know many of you love your morning coffee. I do too. But here's the problem. Large amounts of caffeine interfere with calcium absorption. According to the Mayo Clinic, each extra cup of coffee can slightly increase calcium loss in the urine. For a young person, the effect is minor. But for women after menopause already losing bone density, this adds up over time. Eleanor, one of my patients, used to drink 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day. She said, "It's the only thing that keeps me going." But when she cut down to 2 cups and added green tea instead, she still had energy, but her calcium absorption improved. She was amazed that her hair and nails felt stronger and her bone scan showed less loss than the year before. So let's pause here. Soda salt and excess caffeine. 3 things many women consume daily are quietly draining the strength from your bones. And most of the time we don't even notice the damage until it shows up as pain, height loss, or even a fracture. But here's the good news. For each of these foods, there are healthier alternatives that not only protect your bones, but also boost your overall health. And in the next part, we'll uncover 2 more surprising culprits, including one food many women believe is healthy, but after menopause, it may actually increase bone weakness. Before we go there, let me ask you, do you drink soda, use a lot of salt, or enjoy more than 2 cups of coffee a day? Type the one that's hardest for you to give up in the comments. You'll see how many women share the same struggle, and together we'll find better solutions. We've already uncovered 3 common culprits: soda, excess salt, and too much caffeine. Now let's reveal the last 2 everyday foods that silently weaken bones after menopause. And I'll also share the healthier swaps that make a real difference. The 4th one may surprise you: processed meats. Foods like bacon, sausages, deli ham, and hot dogs are staples in many kitchens. But these meats are often packed with sodium preservatives and chemicals that increase calcium loss and promote inflammation. The Cleveland Clinic warns that high levels of nitrates and sodium in processed meats don't just affect your heart, they also speed up bone thinning. I remember Janet, a 66-year-old woman who loved making sandwiches with deli turkey every day. She thought it was a lean choice, but over time, her bone density scan showed concerning declines. When she switched to fresh grilled chicken or fish, not only did her scan stabilize, but she told me she felt lighter and had more energy. The 5th food is one many women think is harmless or even healthy: refined carbs and white bread. The problem here is twofold. These foods spike blood sugar, which triggers inflammation, and they offer almost no nutrients that support bone strength. Over time, diets high in refined grains crowd out calcium-rich foods. A study published by the NIH found that women who ate more whole grains and fiber had stronger bone density compared to those who relied on white bread and pastries. One of my patients, Eleanor, admitted she started every morning with a sweet roll and white toast. When we replaced those with oatmeal, whole grain bread, and a side of fruit, she noticed not only more stable energy throughout the day, but also less joint pain. So now we've revealed the full list: soda, excess salt, too much caffeine, processed meats, and refined carbs. 5 everyday foods that, when consumed in excess, quietly weaken your bones after menopause. But here's the empowering part: each one has a healthier alternative. Instead of soda, try sparkling water with lemon. Instead of piling on salt season with garlic turmeric or fresh herbs. Swap the third cup of coffee for calming green tea. Replace processed meats with fresh protein, like chicken beans or salmon. And trade white bread for whole grains that deliver fiber, magnesium, and bone-friendly nutrients. Here's your quick win tip tomorrow morning. Make just one change. If you usually have white toast, try whole grain. If you reach for soda at lunch, try sparkling water instead. Don't feel pressured to change everything at once. Small, consistent swaps are what build stronger bones over time. Before we move on to the real-life stories of women who transformed their bone health with these changes, I'd love to pause and invite you to join this community. If you're finding this video helpful, please click like so more women can discover it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. Every week we share practical, science-backed advice for women over 60, covering everything from bone health to skincare, energy, and confidence. Stay with me, because in the next section, I'll share how 2 of my patients reversed bone weakness, not with medication alone, but by changing what they ate each morning. Their stories prove that it's never too late to make your bones stronger. I want to share 2 stories that show just how powerful small food changes can be for women after menopause. The first is Barbara, age 68. When I first met her, she had already lost 2 inches in height and was beginning to stoop forward. She said, "Dr. Lisa, I'm afraid I'll end up like my mother, hunched over and in pain." After reviewing her diet, I discovered she was drinking 2 cans of soda a day and eating processed deli meats almost every evening. These had been her comfort foods for years. She didn't realize how much they were draining calcium from her bones. Together, we made gradual swaps, sparkling water instead of soda, fresh salmon instead of processed ham. Within a year, her bone density scan showed stabilization. Even more important, she said she felt hope again. She stood taller, felt stronger, and told me, "I finally feel like I have control of my future." The second story is about Eleanor, age 72. She had been living with constant back pain and thought it was just a normal part of aging. But when I asked her to describe her meals, it was clear she leaned heavily on white bread pastries and multiple cups of coffee. We created a new routine, whole grain oats with berries in the morning, green tea instead of the third cup of coffee, and seasoning her food with herbs instead of salt. Within 6 months, her pain decreased, her posture improved, and she reported feeling more energy in the mornings. "It's like my body woke up again," she said with a smile. Think of your bones like the foundation of a house. You cannot see them every day, but everything depends on their strength. If you pour acid on the foundation like soda salt and processed foods, the house slowly crumbles. But if you nourish it with supportive materials, whole foods, minerals, hydration, you protect not only the structure, but the people living inside. Your body deserves the same protection. And here's something I've noticed. When women begin these changes, it's not just their bones that improve. Their skin looks healthier, their energy rises, and their confidence shines. The ripple effect is remarkable. Caring for your bones is not about avoiding frailty. It's about building vitality that touches every part of your life. Stay with me, because in the final part, I'll give you a simple morning plan that brings all of these lessons together. It will only take a few minutes each day, but it can safeguard your bones, protect your independence, and remind you that even after menopause, you are still in control of how you age. So let's bring this all together. We've uncovered 5 everyday foods that can quietly weaken your bones after menopause: sodas with phosphoric acid, salty foods that drain calcium, excess caffeine, that blocks absorption, processed meats that load your body with preservatives, and refined carbs like white bread that crowd out nutrients. Each of these may seem small on their own, But over years, they add up, leaving bones fragile and vulnerable. The hopeful truth is this: you have the power to change the story. By swapping soda for sparkling water salt, for herbs, that third cup of coffee, for green tea, deli meats for fresh fish or chicken, and white bread for whole grains, you give your bones the strength they need to support you. Remember, your bones are not just structures holding you up. They are the foundation of your independence, your ability to move with ease, and your confidence as you age. Think of every healthy food choice as a deposit into your bone bank. Over time, these deposits build resilience you can rely on. Here's a reflection I'd love you to consider. What one change can you make tomorrow morning? Maybe it's as simple as replacing toast with oatmeal. Or maybe it's choosing an herbal seasoning instead of the salt shaker. Start small and know that even the tiniest shifts can create lasting strength. I want you to hold on to this truth. It's never too late. I've seen women in their 60s, 70s, even 80s strengthen their bones with consistent choices. Your body is still responsive, still capable of healing, still able to support you. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which one of these foods do you think is the hardest to give up, and which healthy swap are you willing to try first? Share it in the comments below. Your story could inspire another woman who needs encouragement today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. This way you won't miss future videos where we share practical, science-based tips to help women over 60 age with strength, confidence, and grace. And before we close, let me remind you this video is for educational purposes only. It does not replace medical advice. Every woman's body is unique. If you are experiencing pain, significant changes, or have personal concerns, please consult with your healthcare provider. Your well-being deserves personalized care.